Hey family, so welcome to Teaching Tuesday, okay? It's Tuesday, it's also January 15th, so happy Founders Day to my sorors, okay? But anyway, this Teaching Tuesday's topic is do it anyway. And we are going to be coming from Ezra chapter 4, 5, and 6. But I ain't going to make you read all that. So, get ready to do it anyway. So, recently, God has been dealing with me to push forward and do things. But sometimes I get caught up in who's supporting me and what opposition I might face and what challenges I may face. And so I was like, okay, God, I don't know what we're going to talk about. So I magically opened the Bible to Ezra chapter 4. And so, backstory, Zerubbabel was rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem, right? And it's going pretty well till these folks are like, oh, can we help you build that? Can we help you? And he's like, yeah, you can. But then when they find out it's not exactly what they want, they go off and they write the king of Persia this long decree that these people are rebuilding this evil, rebellious city and it needs to be. So, continue with the story. The king of Persia, of course, gives a decree that they need to cease this building. Now, mind you, when we talk about the king of Persia, usually Satan is referred to as the king of Persia. A little tidbit. So, he ceases it. And Zerubbabel and his gang, they stop building, right? And in the decree, let me find it. In the decree, it talked about how during his answer, he says, there have also been mighty kings over Jerusalem who have ruled all over the region beyond the river, and tax and tribute and customs were paid to them. Now, the people who had sent the complaints, they were talking about how the city of Jerusalem was so evil and how they wouldn't pay taxes. But even the king of Persia himself also knew that once before, Jerusalem did have a good king that did pay. See, and God was showing me that sometimes when you're going to step forth in your purpose, people are going to dwell on what has happened in the past. People are going to talk about what you didn't do, but fail to acknowledge what you have done. So imagine you stepping out on faith and doing what God tells you to do, but then some naysayers come up and they start talking about the things that you've done in your past. They're talking about, well, you used to smoke and you used to drink and you used to have sex and you used to do all this. Do you really think you're good enough to do this? And then you stop. So then in the story, a prophet named Haggai comes and goes and speaks to Zerubbabel and basically saying look, you living like this while the house of God looks like this. So you need to get your butt up and go do what God told you to do. And sometimes we all need a little push, a little something to make us go, ooh, all right, God. You know what? I fell off a little bit. I was hurt by what people had said about me, but now it's time to push and go forth. Okay? It's time to push and go forth, y'all. We're not going to be focused on what everybody got to say about us in the past life. All right? We're not going to be focused on that. So, Zerubbabel and his gang begins to build the temple again. And they write a letter to the new king. So Zerubbabel's folks write a letter to the new king. And the new king's name is Darius. And Darius sends this reply. But I want to get into the specific part of the reply. This is Ezra chapter 6. And we're going to go down to Verse 8, and moreover, I issue a decree as to what you shall do for the elders for these Jews for the building of this house of God. Let the cost be paid at the king's expense from taxes on the region beyond the river. This is to be given immediately to these men so that they are not hindered. Now, you might be like, why is that important? Let me tell you why that is important. I'm going to go back up to chapter 6. In verse 6. And verse 6 says, now therefore Tattenai, governor of the region beyond the river, and Shethar-Boznai, and your companions, the Persians who are beyond the river. So remember, Darius said the expense is going to be paid on the people that live beyond the river. And verse 6 says that your companions, the Persians who are beyond the river. Now remember, just what was this? Chapter 4, the king of Persia put a stop to the building of the temple. And now we're getting into chapter 6, where King Darius has said that the Persians now have to pay for everything that is needed to rebuild the temple. This is what I want you guys to get. God is telling you to do it anyway, because even in opposition, he's still going to make a way. See, just because Zerubbabel was obedient to what the prophet Haggai had told him to do, to just continue to build the wall, God is going to take care of the rest. That the people who first made you stop doing what your purpose was to do now have to pay for your purpose. Did y'all catch that? The people who made you stop, the people who put negative things in your spirit, the people that seem like they're making your purpose cease are the people who have to pay for your purpose. Hey, y'all, I'm starting to get a little hot. The people who try to stop your purpose are going to be the ones that pay for it. Y'all, do it anyway. This year, do it in fear. Do it in opposition. Do it when you don't feel like it. Do it when it seems like there's no way going to be made. Do it anyway. Even when they bring up your past. They tried to bring up the past kings of Jerusalem who didn't do what they were supposed to do. Now they gotta pay for it. Do it anyway. And that is it for Teaching Tuesday, y'all. Stay blessed. Stay blessed.